Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be what the narcissist meant when they said. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So when you were in the relationship with the narcissist, they would say so many things that had different meanings. One example would be when they told you that they loved you. We now know that the narcissist does not have the ability to love. You certainly do. And if you have the ability to love, that's a beautiful thing. The narcissist can only mimic back to you fake love and fake empathy and fake caring, etc. So when you told them that you love them, at that moment, what they were saying to themselves was this: wow, I really did a number. I got this person to fall in love with me. It only took me 2 or 3 months, maybe half a year, but I'm really getting better at my skills of manipulation. I'm getting better at having people fall into the trauma bond. I'm getting better at people having them placed in the narcissistic fog. And I'm getting better at people telling them, having them tell me that they love me. I can't love them back, but this is good because now I can begin to extract the resources from that person. And again, that was you at one point in time if you fell into the romantic relationship with the narcissist. So when you tell them that you love them, they now know it is game, set, match. It is advantage narcissist until that relationship breaks, until you heal, until you get your first light bulb moment and you get the needle in a haystack and you realize that you just were in a relationship with a toxic narcissistic person. But going back, when the narcissist would tell you that they loved you, what they were doing is they were essentially saying, yes, I did my job. I got you to fall in love with me. Now I will just string you along. I will mimic back those words that you share with me that are, I love you. And I will say them when it is necessary. Maybe in the beginning, it's completely necessary that I'm continuing to love bomb you until I really, really have my hooks into you, meaning until the wedding bells ring or we relocate it, etc. Or until we start a business together or until you put me through med school, whatever it's gonna be. But I will continue to mimic back and be on my best behavior until I get what I want from you or until I really place you in that narcissistic fog. So that's one example of what the narcissist meant when they told you that they loved you. Another one would be, let's get married. What that means is they look at you or looked at you as a viable source of supply, a long-term relationship, if you will, someone who would be there for them, someone who would be the sounding board for them, someone who would turn a blind eye to their abuse, someone who did not know about narcissism, someone who probably was an empath, or maybe a people pleaser, or did not have boundaries, someone who believed in the mask, and someone who would keep their vows. That's another one. When you took your vows, if you married the narcissist, think about this. You said in good health and in bad and poor health and all these things that the people say. Well, you meant your vows. You probably maybe even wrote your vows. Maybe the narcissist even wrote vows for your wedding. Can't tell you, or ceremony. But the point is, that was all smoke and mirrors. It was all a mirage. The narcissist did not mean any of the words that either they read back to you or that they wrote. They are master manipulators. So what they did when they exchanged vows with you is they said, yes, I now have a legal license to abuse you behind closed doors and in general public if I want to, because everyone thinks that our relationship is all puppies and rainbows, unicorns and butterflies. And everyone thinks to the exterior world that we have the best relationship that others may even be envious or jealous of. And now we're tying the knot and we're making it official. Well, again, your vows, you took them, you meant them. That's not what the narcissist said. They said, yes, I've been looking far and wide for a viable source of supply to catapult me through life for a period of time. Maybe it was a couple of years, maybe it was 5, 6, maybe it was 10 or 30 years. But that's what the narcissist meant when they took, they exchanged wedding vows with you, or you got married with them. Another one, here's a little different one, different side note for you. When the narcissist would tell you, I'm running late, you just go on and have dinner without me. I'll be a couple hours late. I'm stuck at the office. What do you think that means? You probably know by now. Were they really stuck at the office? One will never know. But knowing what we know now about narcissism, it is unlikely that they were stuck night after night, week after week, month after month, maybe even year after year, doing late work in the office when perhaps their shift was over at 5 o'clock and they wouldn't be home till 7, 8, or 9 o'clock frequently or many times. That just screams red flags right there on multiple levels. But one level, now that we know what narcissism is they most likely were grooming a new source of supply, having rendezvous at restaurants or rendezvous at hotels or Who knows where they were or what they were doing? What we do know is they weren't with you. So when they would tell you, yeah, I'll be late tonight, that is a subtle way, many times, not always, but many times, to tell you, yeah, I know that you're caught up in the trauma bond, you're in the narcissistic fog, and I can do whatever I want with you, but I need to find your replacement, and I need to groom them, and I need to make them feel like they are important. Just like the same techniques and mannerisms I displayed with you, I'm doing that now with somebody else, but I'm gonna keep your life on hold, and you will be stuck in our house wondering where I am, if I am working, why I'm staying so late, why I'm doing it so frequently. And then when I come home after 3 or 4 hours of being away from you and grooming the new supply, you will ask me, hey, where were you? Why were you so late? And then I will say, oh, hey, let's grab that dinner. Or do you want to watch a Netflix movie? Or, hey, no big thing, I'm here now, let's don't talk about it. They would say something like that to get you off the scent, to get you off the radar, to get you further away from figuring out who the narcissist was with and what they were doing. You see, everything is smoke and mirrors and bizarro world in the narcissistic relationship. What is left is right, what is black is white, what is up is down, what is in is out. You never get a stable, healthy form of communication with the narcissist. If you really drill back in time, when you were even in the beginning of that relationship during the love bomb stage, you didn't get healthy or stable communication then. You got fakeness. You got the narcissist telling you, yes, they did care about you. Yes, they are falling for you. Yes, you can build a family. Yes, you can get married. All the things you wanted to hear because they were mirroring back to you what your hopes and dreams and aspirations were. And it was too easy for them because they had done this so many times in the past. So to do it with you was pretty simple because you were just the next person, i.e. the new supply who was going to catapult them from where they presently were to where they wanted to get to with all of your resources, which is another thing. When the narcissist would say things like this, yeah, let's open a joint account and we'll each place X number of dollars in it per month because you're working and I'm working. Well, that didn't last that long probably. You probably found out that you were putting money in the joint account and they were extracting money, claiming that they got flat tires or they're taking an online course or they're short this month or they had to send money back to where their mom lives or they had to help their sister out, etc. And you found out that you were giving them mulligans. You were ignoring your instincts and your intuition. You kept on putting money in that account and it kept getting drained and depleted. And then one day you probably stood up for yourself and said, hey, we agreed on this a couple of years ago. You haven't put a penny in the account in 2 years. What's going on? And they're like, what are you talking about? I don't remember saying that. You said that because you made more money, you could support us and that I could send money back to my sister and my mom if I wanted to. And you're scratching your head saying, that's not what happened, but you didn't have any of this in writing. So what did you do? You had two options: to call them out, which most likely you didn't do, or to continue putting money in, even though it was being flushed right down the toilet or being squirreled away for when the narcissist would discard you. There are so many things that the narcissist would say and they would mean something completely different. Another one, you would be grabbing dinner at a restaurant and the narcissist would be triangulating you with the waitstaff, which means they're trying to give the waiter or the waitress more attention than you and flirting and batting their eyelashes and showing the rosy cheeks, etc. But they're doing anything but paying attention to you. And you would call them out and say, hey, what are you doing? This is supposed to be a calm, peaceful, romantic evening, just the two of us. And we are at your favorite restaurant. Why are you flirting with the waitstaff? And they would say, what are you talking about? I'm not flirting. You're so insecure. What's your problem? Are you jealous of the waiter? Are you jealous of the waitress? I can't believe you would do this. You just ruined the night. What they were saying there was they were going to ruin the night the whole time anyway. They were going to triangulate you whether you knew it or not. They were going to blow up that evening. And then when you got home after the night was blown up, and I'm fast forwarding through that part, what would they do many times? They would say, I need time for myself. I'm going to go out for a car ride. I'll be back when I'm back. Don't call me, don't text me. I just need some time away. What would they be doing? They would be going on to the new supply that they were already grooming, but they blew up your dinner, your i.e. romantic dinner with them on purpose, that by triangulating you, and then you called it out. Then when you got home, and you were probably given the silent treatment on the car ride home, then when you got home, they would say they need air, they need to get out, they need some time by themselves. And what would they do? They'd go right down the street to the new supplies house, and they would act like everything was puppies and rainbows because they were grooming that person right in front of you or behind your back, but you didn't know what you know now. You didn't know it back then. Remember, you can't unsee what you've seen. You can now detect the words of the narcissist. You can go back and reflect, not that you should do this because you shouldn't, but if you still have some of the texts of the narcissist, you can look back at those things if it doesn't trigger you, and you can read between the lines very carefully. Were they using capital letters? Were they calling you by your name? What times did these texts come in? Were they early in the morning or late at night? Think about this. There are so many layers upon layers of the narcissistic abusive cycle to be peeled back. It is amazing the things that you can see once you're away from these people, and once the clarity returns, and once you identify that what they said back then wasn't what it meant at all. It meant something completely different. Same thing with this one, the discard. If you were discarded, my heart goes out to you, but if you ended it yourself, my heart still goes out to you because you were in a narcissistic relationship. And 1 minute in a narcissistic relationship is 1 minute too long. But let's say the relationship ended and the narcissist would say things like this. It's not as if anyone's dying here. Go get help. You should see a therapist. You need help. No one's going to like you. No one's going to love you again. You're never going to fall in love again. They would say things like that. What does that mean? They're trying to really do damage to you. And what they're saying to themselves is they will fake love again, but they can't love. And that they know that many people don't like them and many people don't want to be with them. That is the people that are not in the narcissistic fog. But what they're trying to do is keep you in that low vibrational quagmire state where the narcissists themselves exist, and they don't want you breaking the chains. They don't want you healing. They don't want you finding love again. They don't want you finding your purpose. They don't want you entering in the third version of yourself, the strongest, most galvanized version of you known to humankind. They don't want any of that. That's why they will say things which are very, very challenging. And these are words that I heard. It's not as if anyone's dying here. When you hear words like that, that's meant to plant a seed. And that seed is that, in fact, maybe somebody could be. I hope you can read between the lines. That is not a good place to be, because when the narcissist is planting seeds of possibility of the future, i.e. for me, January 6, 2021, and I almost took a turn for the worse, but I didn't, and here I am, and maybe you had some similar experience. This is what the narcissist wants to do. They want to twist the pain, twist the knife in deeper. They want to inflict as much damage upon people as they possibly can while they go and slither off onto the new supply. So what the narcissist really meant when they said, there are so many different layers and layers of things. How about this one? When the narcissist would hoover you, if you accepted a hoover, you shouldn't have, but if you did, I understand. But now you should be going no contact, blocking these people, deleting them, removing them and all fly monkeys and people associated with them. And side note, pro tip, you should not, and I repeat, not be looking or spying or peeking on the narcissist's social media. It will only set you backwards. It will not help you. There is not one picture that you will see. There is not one quote from any other author that you're going to read that's going to change your perspective. It's only going to hurt you. It's going to inflict damage upon you. And remember, the narcissist social media, it's nothing but smoke and mirrors. There's no substance to it. It's all for the exterior world, for the people who haven't seen behind the mask. So getting back on track, let's say that the relationship ended. Well, the narcissist wouldn't give you closure. What they would do is they would just disappear onto the new supply, etc. Well, when that happened, they were trying to keep the door open a crack. And there would be times when they would hoover certain people, not everybody. Not everyone gets a hoover, by the way. And if you do get a hoover, don't accept it. But when they would hoover, what are they saying? They're saying that, yeah, they're thinking about you. They're pining for you. They're missing you. They have changed. You are the love of their life. You are the yin to their yang. They have seen a therapist. They have healed. Now they know the grass isn't greener. They've changed. All these things. That's not what they're saying at all. What they're saying is, you're not strong enough to break the trauma bond. You're not strong enough to see behind the mask. You're not strong enough to go no contact. I will have you enter the relationship one more time, whether it's for a minute, an hour, a day, a week, a month, a year, a decade, the rest of your life, and I will make you pay a huge price for opening that door to me. That's what the narcissist is saying. Any of the words the narcissist says, or any of the words the narcissist ever said to you, you need to take them with not a grain of salt. I am talking 5,000 kilos of salt, because the narcissist will say anything they can to keep people trapped in the fog. They will say anything they can to keep people staying stuck in the cycle, and they will keep people, they will inhibit people from healing and finding their higher purpose, like I mentioned. So when the narcissist said this is what they really meant. There are so many different examples. Watch this one. The narcissist is planting a seed in your mind, or they were planting a seed in your mind. Let's say you're going to buy a car. You liked a certain car, and then you didn't know this back then, of course, that they were a narcissist, but you were looking and excited about buying a certain car and color and interior and all that, and they went with you. What would happen? Well, first of all, they'd probably be triangulating you with the person trying to sell you the car. Second of all, they would probably be saying, wait, that car doesn't get good gas mileage, or it's not really for you. You should look somewhere else. And they would twist their narrative and have you doubting that you should get that car. Next thing you know, you buy the car that they want. They're driving it. You can't drive it because you don't know how to drive a stick, if they still make those these days. And then you're scratching your head saying, why did I buy the car that they wanted? I didn't even buy the car I wanted. because they were manipulating you. They were keeping you trapped and stuck. They were doing anything they possibly could to change your mindset of you not buying the car you wanted, rather to have you buy the car that they wanted. This is what the narcissist does. They will have you look to the left, and they will take anything they can from the right. They will tell you and promise you the sun, the moon, and the stars, and they will deliver absolutely zero. Nothing. They will give you nothing of substance in return. They will take the best of you and give you nothing. This is why the narcissistic relationship is the relationship you need to heal from, because you can't just put a Band-Aid over it. You can't wave a magic wand or take a magic pill and hope that you're going to be better tomorrow. It doesn't work that way. There's a lot of healing that needs to be done. That's why I strongly suggest in so many videos that you should journal, you should meditate, you should watch videos, you should read, you should heal childhood wounds, you should really slow your life down and protect yourself and insulate yourself and stay in that cocoon of boundaries for a period of time. You should not be on social media, on dating apps. You should not be peeking at the narcissist accounts at all. You should not be doing anything that keeps you one step away from the narcissist. You should be running from the hills, or running away from the hills from the narcissist. That is what you must do. If not now, when? All these things I'm mentioning to you, they culminate in one thing. The narcissist never had your best interest at heart back then. They certainly don't now, and they never will in the future. That is why blocking is the path. But what the narcissist said when they meant, when the narcissist said this is what they really meant. You could peel back this layer to hundreds of thousands of examples. What they actually meant about certain people. Watch this one, when they told you that your friends, none of your friends like you, and your immediate family members don't like you either. They keep telling me that there's problems with you, something's wrong with you. What are they telling you? Well, they're telling you that they know that you have a great support system in place. Your family loves you and your friends love you, but they want to isolate you, and they don't want you believing in your friendships or your immediate family members. They want to trap you. They want to keep you stuck as far away from your support system as possible, which leads me to the last example before I close the video. When the narcissist tells you this, and this is another big one, when they tell you, hey, you know what? I think that where we live is a great place, but I think it's better if we move 200, 300, 500 miles or kilometers away. And we should go to this remote, desolate location where we don't know anybody. Let's get a fresh start, a clean slate. What they're telling you there is, I want to isolate you more, away from your neighborhood, your family, your friends, what's familiar to you, your job, your city, state, town, country that you grew up in. And I want to have you live in a totally different environment, as far away from any support as possible. And I want to really begin to pepper you with abuse. And I want to really, really lay it on thick with you. And now that I have you isolated, or I will have you isolated, I can do whatever I want with you, because you're so far away from your immediate family members and your friends and your network and your social circle, etc. That's a huge one. The narcissist will tell you anything they can to get you to do whatever they want you to do. And once they get from you what they want, usually that's when the discard takes place. And usually that's when they really ramp up the abuse, the verbal abuse, the mental abuse, the emotional abuse, the financial abuse, the spiritual abuse. They will do anything they possibly can. They will go any which way the wind blows. They will always be looking for the next new shiny object. They will always be unaccountable. They will never introspect, and they cannot grow and move forward. What they can do is just continue to patch up all the skeletons in the closet of all the blown up relationships they've destroyed in the past. They can just continue to act like that never happened, slither away onto the new supply, and extract resources from that person. And one more thing before I close the video. Who is the new supply? The new supply is one of three people. A, they're a toxic person themselves. B, they're a recycled source of supply who hasn't healed or figured out that they what narcissism is. Or C, they're a brand new clean slate, somebody who has never encountered the narcissist, and they don't know what kind of relationship they're about to get into. So that's who the new supply is. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. Remember that. You are not alone. I love you all. God bless you, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Remember, the narcissist, what they said back then, it had a totally different meaning to what they were trying to tell you. Example, if they told you they loved you, they were telling you quite the opposite. They're telling you that, yeah, I can fake this for a little while, but eventually you're going to be in so deep, it's going to be challenging for you to get out of it. That's one small example. But don't believe the words of the narcissist. They can never improve their lives. All they do is wiggle their way through life, trying to extract as much as they possibly can from people. Many times these people are unsuspecting, many times they're recycled sources. But no matter who it is, get away from these people as fast as you can. That's why I suggest going no contact. I love you guys, and I will talk to you tomorrow. All right, bye everybody.